And for the first time, the Swans are onward to victory.
Welcome back to A Bevy of Bloods, a fan podcast of the Sydney Swans Football Club.
So to all you loyal Swans out there who just can't get enough of the red and the white,
fluff up your tail feathers and settle in for a potentially biased yarn about all things to do with our beloved Bloods.
G'day there, Cygnets and Swanlings. Welcome back to A Bevy of Bloods, your place for the Sydney Swans AFLW. You're joined as always by the crew from Sydney. I'm Chris and this is Jen.
That's right, you languishing but loyal Swans fans. Welcome back to the podcast. If you enjoy what you hear, remember, make sure to give us a like and a follow. But we're here to go over the Battle of the Bridge for our 2025 season, so let's get stuck into a quick game recap. Over to you, Chris.
The Sydney derby last Sunday at Henson Park, the beating heart in front of an enormous crowd. Our Sydney Swans were defeated by the Giants by 7 points. The final score of 6-6-42 to 7-7. 49, Jen, a cracking day. Huge atmosphere, over 7,000, breaking records. But in the end, in the game, a really disappointing loss to the big sisters in GWS. What did you see?
I know, just absolutely devastated. I mean, we hate losing to our crosstown rivals, whether that's the men's. Hate it. Men's or the women's footy. So I think we were all pretty devastated. We did say last week we thought it was going to be pretty close, but we were hoping to get that one in the bag. But hats off to the Giants. They were the better team on the day. I just felt like we'd gone backwards a little bit. We were, in our terms of how we were playing, a little bit like we were playing last year. There was a, just a hack kicks out of there, hack and hope, kick down the lines, and we're playing against someone who is the top interceptor in the league at the moment, and she was just killing us, McCormick. She kept intercepting. We had several inside 50s, but they were just chopping it off, whether they were pushing us under the ball or we were just way too far away. We just weren't linking up. We were really fumbly, and something that was giving me the shits, if we can mark that out, just drop marks that we should have been taking. And then, those handballs missing the mark, and it just completely kills the momentum. You've got all your players streaming one way, thinking we're running into our forward 50, here's a chance, and then we just lose it. It gets turned over, and we're just on the back foot, and we're chasing down, and they were just a lot cleaner with their handballs. Again, they ran in some waves, but they just lowered their eyes. They were lowering their eyes, and we weren't. They got us in the end. We did have a cracking second quarter where we got the majority of our goals, and we were using our 45-degree kicks and changing directions, but we did have a few missed opportunities as well. There's a few goals that if they went through, maybe the game's a different story. But tough one to lose.
Tough one to lose, and a really good breakdown there. I think it's actually come up. Tiny White, the midfielder from the Pies from last week, we missed this, but she did mention that it seemed like they had figured out what the Swans were doing, and that was only echoed by what our own Scotty Gowan's super coach mentioned as well post-game, in that they're starting to figure out we love to play the uncontested footy. Moving the ball around, coming those like uncontested kicks, moving the ball nicely around, making sure that we got possession before we move forward. It seems like the competition have noted, and all the points you mentioned there, Jen, where it just seemed like we were hacking it forward, just trying to get something moving, they just had the pressure on us. They knew where they were going, and they seen our game plan. Now this is a disappointing piece, of course. We went through in a lot of detail after round 4 about the next 2 games, round 5 against the Pies, and of course round 6 here against the Giants, how important these first 6 games were to the fate of our finals berth. And just a really bad time for the competition to figure us out as we walk into what is probably the next few games of the hardest teams you could possibly imagine. But we get to that, Jen, Scotty Gowers is going to have to do a lot of work to get us out of this little funk
Little
and have
slump.
to adjust the team. Yeah, you're going to have to adjust the team's motion, I
Yeah.
guess. Can they do it? Can they do it?
Yeah, absolutely, they can do it. And the thing is, I think we can go back to our short kicking, uncontested type of play. We just weren't doing it. I think maybe the Pies and GWS figured out how to rattle us.
Yeah.
Because when we did get some marks, which I was also tearing my hair out about, we played on. There were several times when, if turn and face first. Have a look at what's in front of you, or, if someone is streaming past calling for the ball, maybe it's on them not to call for it when they're in a bad position or they've got two players surrounding them. Don't call for it. Have a look. Have a look first. We had about 3 marks outside or right on the 50 arc, I think, in that third quarter, and we played on. Or and our forwards weren't ready. We got under the pump. It was a bit scrappy. That's the second where you like stop, have a look at your best options, give your forwards a chance to tick lead, push off their players. We were just getting swarmed. The girls had their opposition player all over them, and they're under the pump. And then the other thing we were doing was these short handballs to someone like 30 centimeters away. Again,
Mm,
someone on them, and we'd turn it over, and they would just
just
turn it
rattled.
around to an end-to-end play and ended in so many goals, which I think in our stats a little bit further down, the turnovers, Swans 77 to GWS 67, and I didn't even count, but
Mm,
so many of those led to their goals from their defensive half. Um, so there's things we can do. We can go back to training this week, work on the fundamentals, marking, contested marks under pressure, push off your players, work on the ground ball gets under your ankles, just getting clean with someone on your tail. Um, and
mm,
just, I don't know if we just need a few more voices out there to say, if you take a mark, especially after a moment of being under the pump, stop, hold
mm.
it, just like wait,
Position
just
yourselves. Yep.
give your team a chance to like catch the breath, get in a good position, which, you know, I was going to ask you something about this. It was
Talk
pissing
to
me
me.
off watching the game.
Talk to me. I love it when you get pissed off. Go on.
I'm pissed off because I watched the men's games on the weekend, obviously the semi-finals. Holding the ball.
Oh, yeah.
I I don't like it. I don't like it at the women's game. I think it's bullshit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, if that was in the men's game, how quickly they're calling holding the ball, they would be losing their minds. And I
Yeah.
think I understand they're trying to make the game more free flowing and get it moving. But then they're really surprised when everybody's efficiency drops because they're absolutely gassed because there's no second to, like, stop, have a ball up. I don't think it's fair. What do you reckon?
It's no, it's actually something Warzy and I noticed at the first game of the season, round one over there at North Sydney. We were kind of picking up. We're going like, geez, they're pretty quick on calling holding the ball, and at that point it went our favour because we were playing a lot more pressure. Of course, we were playing that game where we're just keeping the ball away from them a bit more, so it kind of worked for us.
Mm,
But since then, it's been called out so many times, and it's so crystal clear that they've just decided to make this. Um, the theme. And on that first week, I must admit, I just thought it was just bad umpiring from a single person on the ground. And I was like, oh, that umpire over there is just calling it a bit quick for me.
mm,
But as we've seen the trend of the competition going nuts, yeah, you've been called out by a few coaches now. And here's an interesting stat for you, Jen, just to back you up, because you are 100% correct. In 2024, the entire season, there was 1,600 tackles across the competition.
mhm,
1600. In this season 2025, after 6 rounds already, there is 1464. So
mhm.
140 less tackles just about halfway through the season compared to
Yeah.
last year.
So,
So
yeah,
just that just obviously shows that they are calling the ball very, very quickly, and the same trend. That's 91%. The same trend happening on the tackles inside 50. So
mm,
it is genuinely something that I think the competition needs to work out whether this is what they want to stand for in terms of forcing a free flowing game by changing the rules on the players,
yep,
or do they want to just kind of turn it down a little bit and then try to see how the girls adapt to it. But I'm not a big fan of making adjustments by umpires throughout the season. I know the men's do it 3 times a season whenever the Melbourne media gets a hold of something. I don't necessarily want to be that reactive, but I in this instance, I kind of feel that it would make a big deal and kind of make the competition kind of change up a bit. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I just don't really understand why it has to be so different to the men's game. We've already got several things that are different to the men's game, like the no touch rule, which is already, makes it so much more difficult for the girls to catch their breath. And we can see from the last couple of years it leads to more injuries because there's less rest time on the ground. And now you're adding in another thing, and there's no real, like, you're just mucking around being like, "I'm pretending to get rid of it," but you're not, and so many of the calls are being made when they literally just get the ball, and because they can't get it out, um, it's called holding the ball when they've literally just felt like smacked straight away, and then it's inconsistent as well, as it always is, no matter what, if it's men's or women's for any of the rules. So I think I've got written down here, Cooper in the last quarter laid 2 incredible tackles right in front of goals. Bang, one straight after the other. That should have been a free kick to her right in front of goals, which could have changed the game on the dime for us. Neither of those were called, even though they did not dispose of that ball correctly, both Daisy and the following girl. And then it bounces back down to our D50, and Puller gets tackled in less time to get rid of the ball than Daisy, I should know her surname, Daisy Walker did, gets pinged for it and leads to a GWS goal. I was like, BS, absolute BS. But yeah, I'm not loving it. Just why did it need to change? Keep it as it is. Keep it the same amount of time as the men's. Anyway.
Yeah, and I would have been okay. I kind of would have been somewhat okay with it if they gave the heads up earlier, like on the way into the season, to be like, "Oh, by the way, this is going to be a focus of the game." I didn't hear anything, so
It just
and
looks
then that way,
fumblier.
they adjust. Yeah, it just makes the game come across a bit more ugly and just less time for the girls to really get on with it. Like push,
Yeah.
get the ball on the ground, roll it off, get a bit of contested and run with it. Like
Yeah.
it's what makes AFL really, like that kind of mess around the footy sometimes. But yeah, anyway, it's a
Yeah.
bit frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
then
we have a problem.
and that led to my other thing. It was just means more people are on the ground. And then that was actually something GWS did better than us as well. They kept their feet when that ball was on the ground. We didn't. We're on the ground, got pinged. That's annoying.
I have a
Anyway,
question for you.
yeah.
Could it be these last 2 games where the teams, the opposition has focused more around stopping us from being able to get that, like keeping the ball more in the contest? This fumbling approach that we have, is it just that the girls are going to have to adjust? Like, they've played 4 games, they've trained throughout this in the off season. That's the style of game. They weren't just, they were just attacked by the Pies and then again, once again, by the Giants. Is it just a matter of they're just going to have to figure out the pace of the game when it's contested? And is it not so much a coaching thing, more of just the girls kind of just figure it out for themselves?
I think maybe a little bit of both. Definitely a coaching thing of it's got to be quick hands and clean hands. And we know that Adelaide are going to bring it. Their midfield is dominant and they're strong and they're fast and they can roll up forward and do all that. So we need to bring it this week, and we can do it. I think just in these next couple of games, especially Adelaide, North Melbourne, when we get the ball, that ball is golden. So if you take a mark, unless it's absolutely on that person's streaming past, calling for it, is like give you the most confident, like give me that ball. Yes, I'm on. Turn face. Got to have a look first. Yeah, as much as because we know that when we do get a bit of a run on, we're generally, except for these last couple of weeks, pretty efficient in front of goals. So we're probably going to have the ball less in our hands the next couple of weeks. So let's use it smart. And let's get into the hands of our players who do use it efficiently, which I did think watching that game, I wanted to change some people up on our team. I've got some thoughts.
Okay.
If Scotty Yelland
Fucking
listens
swinging
to this,
axes.
I've
Jen's had enough.
I was watching the game through one eye slightly. worse for wear after my 40th birthday party. So listen to this old hag over here. But yeah.
All right.
There you go. What have you thought in the last
No.
couple of games? Last couple of games, have you thought to yourself, is there anyone I would want to switch around on the field? Like from last week to this week's, what do you reckon coming to Adelaide?
Adelaide is such a scary freaking team. And I really get concerned about what the outcome of that game is going to be. I think the last time we played them, we lost by over 60, but that was a very different team and a very different scenario. I would love for us to be competitive enough to hold up defensively, or at least limit the amount of football they're going to necessarily damage us with. And then, as you said, take our chances when we get them. To answer your question, I find it really hard to have to want to drop someone as a result of it, because I do genuinely feel that when our team is running, each one of those players does a pretty good job. And that back line, I'm actually quite happy with. So what do you think, Jen? I want to hear the Gen X come out, fucking sharpen it all for the next few days, swinging out. Go on. What have you got?
I know our friend from Finland is not here, our axe murderer in the scrub. So I've taken the axe this week.
He's too busy genuinely burying people, probably, this guy. So yeah, sorry, Steve. But
I know each time he's not here, we give him a ripping. Not so much dropping people, but just McAvoy back behind the ball. I know we've been saying we're very happy with our back line, but I think we're more stable when she's back there. And let's say that first kick out, if that gets into her hands, we know that next kick's going to be used quite efficiently. So having McAvoy back in that sort of half back line, maybe that means Puller, or if it's Sergeant Wilson has to move up to the wing slightly, that so be it. Ham, I want Ham in the mids more. It feels like, I don't know if they're managing her or something, but usually in like the third quarter, she seems to disappear a bit in the games. And I don't know if she's off or they're resting her in the forward lines. Get her in the mids. She is such a ball of energy. She's strong. She's explosive. She wants that ball. I saw her a few times kicking on her left and actually quite deep entries. Yeah, getting that ball in a fairway. I want her in the middle more. All right, Scotty. Zippy,
I don't think anyone would disagree with that. I think
nah.
She does her best work there. Yep.
Love Zippy on the wing this weekend. I mean, she had a cracking game with her 2 goals, and she did like an amazing spoil on Huntington, who's like twice her size. When she's in and around the ball as well, we use it well. What did she have? It was like 87% disposal efficiency in that game for Zippy. So get the ball in her hands. And then I think we need a conversation later about who's going to be our talls up front. Do we keep Martin? Do we get Priv back in? Do we throw Reed in as a tall forward instead of a ruck? So we got a real tall spine. Just some ideas. There's some ideas from me.
I like it. I love. It wasn't so much of an axe swinging, more of a what do you call it? Yeah, you're kind of holding the axe over their head, just making them sweat a bit. Is what I'm feeling out of this. It's just, it's just like you can swing it, but you're not gonna yet. That's what I'm kind of getting out of this, Jen. So I think everyone appreciates that's a bit of a warning shot with the axe.
Just a little prune.
Well, look, there was some good play on the days. You mentioned there Zippy. Any other players that you reckon deserve a bit of a shout out?
I feel like it's all me today, but that's okay. Hausinger. I wanted to give a massive shout out to her. I think she's a bit of an unsung hero, and just everything she did in that game was good. Like, there's definitely a passage of play where she got the ball, I think, on the half-back line, and she sidestepped someone, zigzagged, kicked that ball in 45 into our corridor, and it led to one of our closest chances for goal. It went to Malloy. She played on, unfortunately, got it over to Cooper, and then Cooper got run down, tackled. So, but it was so close. But yeah, several intercept marks for her, or intercept ground ball gets, and she worked hard all day, and whenever she got it, she did something good with it. So I thought, shout out for her.
I love it. love it when we do shout out some of the players that don't necessarily get the Bob medal on a weekly basis, but they're definitely doing the job out there. I think, well, let's get stuck into the Bob medal then. That's the Bevy of Bloods 321 equivalent of the Bob Skilton medal, of course. Of the players this week, do you mind if I give you mine? Because I
Go for
actually
gold.
feel that they're exactly the same as yours because we've got them written down. But
Okay.
let's go through them ever so slowly. Okay.
Okay.
So, of course, Zippy Fish, for all the reasons you mentioned there, high disposal efficiency, playing with the ball, getting her run on, playing her particular game on a day where it's seen a bit of struggle for others. A couple of goals along the way, continuing to just be an absolute dynamo out there for us. Any questions about Zippy Fish with 3 points from Jen?
I would
No.
100% agree. 2 goals, Zip, 15 disposals, 10 kicks, 5 handballs, 2 marks, 3 tackles, 214 metres gained, 87% disposal efficiency.
Boom, boom, boom. Can't go wrong. Zippy Fish for 3 points. I think that just makes sense. It was an absolute star. Now the 2 points, of course. Don't disagree with this whatsoever, but I'll let you take it away, Jen. It is your girl, after all.
It is my girl after all. She had a cracking second quarter. The commentators were talking about her as our secret weapon, and I think people are starting to take notice of her more. She got a goal herself, a nice snap for the Irish lady. 24 disposals, 16 of those contested, 18 kicks, 6 handball, 1 mark, 7 tackles, 8 clearances,
8 clearances, yep.
175 metres gained. Yep, she's just a workhorse, and she worked to the end. And an amazing tackle in the fourth quarter. They could have been another 6 points in front. She ran down Tani Evans like a librarian, snuck up on her.
I mean, TK, they caught her out on, I don't even know where it came from, probably the W show or something, where they caught out Tanya Kennedy as our secret weapon, as you mentioned there. They don't disagree with that. I think she's slowly kind of she went from being this player you could see who could just run all day, but the skills on the outside were not quite there. The handballs, the kicks, there's kind of like those minor pieces there, but the effort, the run, the aggression was all there. Then her player smarts kind of really picked up for last year, and then her skills just got ripped up, and we're like, hang on, she's really coming to the fore, and now she is in our top 3 mentions every single week. So absolute breakout by TK. And your absolute favorite this entire time. So gotta love what TK is doing. Also, almost through 400 meters gains at third on the day. That's coming out of a midfielder with doing what she was doing. Like, she was doing huge stuff. If it wasn't for her, that scoreline would have been a lot worse. Okay, I will take it for 1 point, of course, and it'd be ridiculous not to mention this because I think she had a cracker of a game. Ali Morfitt, the big number there, of course, the 19 hitouts against decent competition there. Alicia Dowd, along the way, 8 tackles, aggressive as she is, 19 disposals, and the 4 clearances to go with it to even it. Just a good game. What do you say about old Ali Morfitt?
I think I'd have to
Not
agree
so
with you
old Ali
there.
Morfitt.
Yes, quite young Ali Morfitt. Yeah, I was having trouble with who I was going to choose for my 1 point, but Morfitt's got to have it again. Just covers the ground. She's doing her job. She worked so hard in that ruck battle, and then she took about maybe it was 4 of those 5 marks. She was on the last line of defence and took some impressive marks on the goal line that could have made us a lot more behind. So well done, Morfitt. Keep going, girl. We've got a few more weeks
Keep
to
doing
go.
that.
Yep.
She's got some tough competition ahead of us. She's going to be key in all this. Another special mention for me personally, Laura Gardner, as always, doing her little thing. Like when she has a quiet game, it's still such an impactful game. And she's core of her 21 disposals, 12 tackles. Like if she's not getting the ball, she's doing her absolute hardest to make sure she gets a hand on it or somebody does. So a bit of a shout out for Laura Garner. Any other shout outs, Jen, that you have on your side?
My shout outs again will probably Puller and Grundon. So I think Puller even got a little bit of a write up on the W app just with all her hard work. She's someone who doesn't give up either. She was running on that back line, and although maybe the they didn't hit the marks as often as we wanted. She got us out of danger as often as she could. So yeah, for a little thing, she works hard and she takes the hits, man. Oh my God.
She's tough.
She's tough.
She's tough.
Cool.
Okay. All right.
All
So
right.
that is 3 points for Zippy Fish, 2 points for TK, Jen's Girl, and then 1 point for Morfett to round it all out for the Bob medal. Now, this leads us into the ladder implications. As we said at the beginning of the potty, this game was very critical for our finals chances. So a bit of a tough run we've got ahead of us. And we're coming in fifth with the 4 wins and the 2 losses at still 142%, which is a pretty tidy percent within the AFLW in particular. But the game ahead, we've got the Crows away. Now, Jen, scarier teams, there's not many, and we're going to play them the following week. What do you say about the Crows, really?
I know. It makes you feel a little bit nervous, but I did see last week they beat the Suns, but it was only 50-34.
Okay.
And when we beat the Suns, we had a much bigger win. So
That's right.
let's don't count them out yet, our Swannies. We could have a nice big turnaround after those 2 losses, and we need it. I think I wrote back up a little bit earlier. We need at least 2 wins out of these next 4 to stay in the 8. So, at least the next 2 wins out of the next 3, let's say, to stay in the 8. And then, I mean, it's the Crows. We talk about this every week. Danger players. Take your pick. Marinoff, Hatchard, Newman, Ponta, Chelsea Randall's a test to play. Maybe she'll stay out with the concussion protocol for 1 more week, so that could be 1 less person we have to worry about. But she is a tough competitor. She's probably my ultimate favourite player, Chelsea Randall. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough week ahead.
Yep. Good win, as you said, Newman, Ponta, what are we going to do? And then, of course, Marinoff, who's arguably the best player on the ground at any game that she plays. So, yeah, good luck. It's going to be a tough game, of course, followed by North the following week. Here's the question, Jen. How do we win? How does Scotty Gowans go in there, threatening to start swinging axes, bringing up the Bob podcast, playing it on full bore on the session there pre-game? What are they going to have to do to get the game? What are they going to do to get this win, get a close game going?
That is a tough question, which is why I'm not Scotty Gowans. But
I'm like, oh, yeah.
I think we just got to we've got to channel what the other teams did to us, especially what the Pies did. I think we've just got to pressure them, shut them down, don't let them get that outside run. We're just going to stick right on there. It's going to be the hardest game, but I believe in them. Like I said, when I saw the score last week from against the Suns, I was like, "Oh, hang on a second, we might be in here with a chance." We just got to take it to them, play the fourth quarters, and as I said, every time we get that ball is gold. Don't waste it. Yep.
Yeah. They are a very well-drilled unit. Like, they are going to stick to a game plan like no one's business. And yeah, as you said there, we've got to take our chances we have, and at the same time, we've got to really shut down some of these key players. You imagine TK sits on Ebony, would be my guess. Just try to shut
Ebony
down
or
any influence that she
Hatchard,
has.
whichever one.
Hatchard.
Because Marinoff herself is a bit of like, I think she jumped back up to number 1 tackler in the league. I mean, she's been it for years, or at least in the top 3. So she's a bit of a similar to TK for us. She might be shutting people down, but again, she can get that. She can get her own ball. So does Hatchard. Those two alone are just scary. So good luck, midfield.
Oh, shit. I've just realized something, Jen.
Are we not recording?
Ebony Marinoff. We are. It's Ebony Marinoff's 100 game this week at home for the Crows.
Maybe we need to take the axe down to Adelaide and You weren't
Are you-
there. I wasn't there. Nobody saw us. We're not saying anything, but
Oh my goodness! Are you suggesting what was the name? I forgot the name of that tennis player that got
Oh no! You thinking of in the back, Monica
got taken out
Seles.
in Monica. There's no like
I was thinking
okay.
more of the ice skater. What was her name with the kneecapping? But
Oh, Harding, Tonya Harding.
yeah, let's bring it back.
Yeah.
We're lovely people most of the time.
No, we're not bringing it back. Like there's no this like the ideas on this podcast are for humorous effect only. If I'm going to bring up my legal stats, so
Yes.
like this don't want any lawyers coming up on giving us a call. It's all a bit of a joke, but yeah, no, it's 100 games for Epic Marinov over there at home at Adelaide. They're going to be riled up. So the girls, I really hope that we just shut them down and get
Yes.
this win over. Do you have a prediction? Would you like to put out a prediction out there, James?
I've put up a close prediction actually because I feel good about it. I do still think Adelaide are going to get up, but only by 5.
Okay, I am way too one-eyed to even contemplate that. So I'm going to say the Swans by 2.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's it.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm very much looking forward to when our little lovely Hurley might be back in the team. Although we haven't talked about that. It looks like foot soreness has changed to something else. She has hurt her quad.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
we've still
Okay.
got another 1 to 2 weeks before Hurley is back, which I think is also she'll inject what the team's been missing. So we've got a little wait yet. Sorry, Swannies, but she's coming back. She's coming back as fast as she can.
That's such an interesting point because namely, like she's been part of that core midfield since the beginning.
Mm.
So it's just not having her there is huge loss. All right. Well,
We've got good predictions. Swans by 2. I hope you get it right. Upset
thank
of
you.
the season. And
Mhm.
then we'll come back to next week being like, no lamenting or languishing Swans. Will be back to you lucky loyal Swans fans.
Lucky Swannies on our way to go see the Kangas. We'll see how
Alright.
we go. All right, one game at a time over there at Adelaide. If you're heading over to Adelaide Oval, we'd love to hear from you. Just get out there, support your girls, touch base with us. Let's see if we can get something going. But hey, if you enjoy the podcast, make sure, as Jen said at the beginning, give us a like, give us a follow, all that dumb, boring stuff. Otherwise, we'll go watch the game in the pub here in Sydney somewhere. Jen, up the Bloods. Can you Swannies?
This podcast is an independent fan-run production and is in no way affiliated with the Sydney Swans Football Club, its players, or the AFL. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the Sydney Swans or any official organisation. All commentary is intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only.